What if you could invest in real estate, but without all the usual headaches? No massive down payments, no property taxes, no tenants calling you at 2 a.m. Well, today we're going to dive into a fascinating investment class that's kind of booming right under our noses: buying websites and treating them like digital properties.
Okay, to really get this, let's start with an analogy you'll instantly understand. Picture this. You're standing on some quiet street and you see this rundown shop, dusty windows, the whole deal. But you see the potential, right? You buy it, you spruce it up, and in just a few months, the rent it's bringing in pays for the whole thing. Now, hold that thought, because that exact fixer-upper strategy, it's happening online every single day.
And this whole powerful concept, it's got a name: digital real estate. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's the practice of buying, improving, and monetizing existing websites as actual assets, just like you would with physical property.
So how does this actually work online? Well, that rundown shop we talked about, that's just an under-optimized website. And the customers, they're the people clicking in from Google search results. Think about it. It's like having a prime storefront on the biggest high street in the entire world, the internet.
Okay, so how do these properties actually generate their rent? Well, a lot of them already have revenue streams built right in. Things like display ads, affiliate links that pay you a commission, or maybe they're even selling their own digital products. They're already cash flowing assets, just waiting for an investor to come along and, optimize them. So where do you even find these digital properties? I mean, you're not going to see them listed on Zillow, right? Instead, you'll find them on these specialized marketplaces like Flippa, Empire Flippers, and Motion Invest. These are the hubs where you can find websites of all shapes and sizes, and some of them cost less than a used car. Seriously. All right, so let's say you found a promising digital property. What's next? You don't just jump in blind. The smart investors in this space, they follow a really clear, proven strategy. It's their playbook for turning a good website into a great asset. Let's call it the digital renovation plan. This playbook really has 4 key stages. First, and this is crucial, is due diligence. You're poring over the traffic stats, the revenue reports, making sure the asset is solid. Once you feel good about it, you buy it, negotiate the terms, make the purchase. Then comes the really fun part: the improvement phase. This is where you might upgrade the hosting, improve the design, or find better affiliate partners to work with. And finally, you monetize. You either sit back and enjoy that new, higher passive income, or you flip the site for a tidy profit.
Okay, this all sounds pretty promising, but here's the big question. How does digital real estate really stack up against the traditional kind? To figure that out, we need a real head-to-head comparison. It's time for bricks versus clicks.
The advantages on the digital side are pretty compelling. Sure, a physical property is tangible, you can touch it, but a website, it's completely location independent. You can manage it from literally anywhere. The initial investment is often just a fraction of a down payment on a house. And maybe the biggest perk of all, there are no toilets to fix, no midnight calls from tenants. Ever. But let's be real here. It is not risk-free. Every investment has a downside. For digital assets, instead of worrying about a housing market downturn, you're worried about a sudden Google algorithm update that just wipes out your traffic. Instead of a neighborhood going bad, you've got a niche trend that suddenly fades away. And yeah, it absolutely requires some online marketing skills to keep the asset healthy. And that brings us to maybe the most important point. This is not a set it and forget it kind of investment. Not at all. You have to think of it like buying a tiny apartment building. It's a real asset, and it needs real oversight, real strategy, and real management to truly thrive. So why are we talking about all this right now? What makes this so relevant today? Well, because in a world where pretty much everything is moving online, our whole definition of what an asset is has to evolve too. This isn't just some niche hobby anymore. It's an accessible, flexible, and global way to build wealth that simply didn't exist a couple of decades ago. This idea really changes how you see the internet. The next time you land on some small blog or a niche review site, you might ask yourself a totally new question. Am I looking at just a web page, or am I looking at a piece of digital property, an asset just waiting for someone to come along and unlock its full potential? It's a really powerful shift in perspective, and it leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Maybe, just maybe, the most valuable street of the future won't be paved with bricks and mortar, but with the clicks that connect us all.